So as you can see, I am at the fabulous Atlantis Resort in the Bahamas, getting some R&R, because you know my philosophy, you have to play as hard as you work. But I'm not only here for fun in the sun, I am going to do something a little crazy today. You know I'm a big advocate of overcoming your fears, because we can't grow unless we step out of our comfort level. So I am about to go in the tank with the sharks. So if you know me, know that is my biggest fear in life are sharks. So let's see how I do. Look at the camera. Can you speed this up? There's sharks 24 in my body right now.
Ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready? That's the more important question. Is my bodyguard ready?
Oh, blood ready.
Alright, that's what I like to hear.
Go down. Air always goes to the top. Look at those big bugs.
Looks like a jellyfish.
What's that like?
Okay.
Oh, look at all those other people have white things and those two don't.
Helmets with the other side.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I think that's in case that helmet comes attached to the surface. How awesome was that? That's why you got a shark.
See my little shark tooth? Proof. Shark tooth.
Good job.
Hi, so as you can see, I'm back from my fabulous trip from Atlantis, and you just watched my walk with the sharks. So today I want to talk to you about overcoming fears. In 2003, I probably went through what I consider one of the lowest points of my life. I had just opened up my brand new shop. I was in the middle of a custody battle. I was dealing with a cancer scare. I had just had a long-term relationship end. I was broke, I was tired, I had no hope, and I was just beyond exhausted, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And I remember one day a very good friend of mine came to me and said to me, "You need to decide what you want. I have never seen you give up on anything. You've always been a fighter, and you've always taken the negative things in your life and you've turned them into a positive. So I don't know what's going on with you, but you can't keep living like this. If you want to give up, you need to shut your doors down, you need to pack up, and you need to move and go start someplace over again. If you don't want to give up, then you need to start fighting back. And I remember looking at her and crying hysterically and saying to her, you don't understand. All of the things that I had been through in life before were one thing, one negative, one horrific event at a time. And I will never forget looking at her and through the tears saying to her, you don't understand. This is different. Every one of my worst fears is coming true. Everything that I had been focusing on. What if I run out of money? What if I get sick? What if I lose my custody? What if I lose my child support? What if my relationship ends? And it was in that moment that I realized exactly what was going on. All of the things that I had been fearing, all of the things that I thought individually would take me down were happening. And they were all happening in the same moment because I was supposed to be learning that we need to take our own power back, that we always have choices. And no matter what is going on in our lives, and I say this all the time, no matter what is going on in our lives, we always have the choice of how we respond to it. So it was back in 2003 that I started my overcoming my fears. It started with getting a tattoo because back then in the day, my worst fear was needles. So I went and got a tattoo. Then a couple of months later, I had one away and I had a horrible fear of heights. So I did a climbing thing. Then a couple of years ago, I did a TV show. I had a local TV show, Create Your Reality, and I did a show with snakes because I was petrified of snakes. So this year, I chose the sharks because I am deathly, anybody that knows me, deathly afraid of sharks. And as crazy as it sounds, there's a certain power that you take back. I hope this makes sense. There's a certain power that you take back when you face a fear head on. And when you're facing that fear head on, and you don't have to go swim with sharks, don't worry, I'm not going to make that a homework assignment today. But when you face a fear head on, the trick to it is to focus on the energy, the feeling, once you've accomplished overcoming that fear. So in other words, I was not in the Shark Tank focusing on how big they were, that they were swimming inches from my face, that they could probably eat me anytime they wanted, even though they told me they only eat dead fish. You focus on the feeling of the accomplishment. You focus on how freeing it is when you do something that you were so afraid of, when you do something that's stepping out of your comfort zone. And again, I go a little overboard. I'm not saying that you need to go swim with sharks, but think about it. Sometimes we're afraid to get out of a relationship because we're afraid of being alone. So all we do is focus on what it's going to feel like to be alone. We don't focus on the energy of taking our power back, of loving ourselves enough to say, this relationship isn't working and I love myself enough that I know that I'm better off on my own. Facing a fear of a job change, you know, not being happy where you are at a job, but being too afraid and focusing on what if I can't find another job? What if the next job is better? Instead of connecting with the energy of what would it feel like to have the job of your dreams? What would it feel like to get up every day and be excited to go to work? These are the things that we need to do. If you are not afraid and you are not stepping out of your comfort zone, you are not growing. It's as simple as that. We can all stay in our little safety nets, even as if they're horrible and even if we're not getting what we need out of them. But if you really want to change and you really want to grow and you really want to experience life, then you're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be afraid. You're going to be worried. You're going to be concerned. But that doesn't mean it has to stop you. I look back now on that horrible year that I was just talking about, 2003, and that was a defining year in my life because it really not only woke me up to the reality that I was living my life from a place of fear. I was afraid of everything. I was afraid of not having money. I was afraid of being alone. I was afraid of getting sick. I was afraid of everything. And that is not the way to live, because when you're living from a place of fear, you're not connecting with your own power. And life is all about taking back your power. It's about loving yourself. It's about believing in yourself. and it's about being willing to step out of your comfort zone. So I am going to give you another assignment today, and don't worry, I'm not going to have you swim with the sharks like I said, but I want you to start with a small fear. Maybe it's something as simple as being uncomfortable going to dinner by yourself, or going to see a movie by yourself, or taking a trip by yourself. Maybe it's something as simple as you're someone that likes to have everything planned, so maybe one day just getting in the car and just going somewhere and exploring. Start with something simple, a simple fear that you have. And I can promise you that when you overcome that fear, it will be a feeling like you have never had before. And I can tell you from personal experience that once you do some of these things and you start even overcoming your bigger fears, you are so empowered and you are so ready to take on life. And all of those little things that happen during the day, they don't affect you in the same way anymore, because you learn that life is what you make of it. And you learn that you can take anything that is thrown at you and you can come out on the other side bigger, better, stronger, and happier. So I want to thank you for watching another episode of At Home with LA, and I'm challenging you to pick a fear, start with a small one, and overcome it, because you can do it. Thanks for watching.